This video is sponsored by Storyblocks. So you're looking to buy a camera to start making content this year, but with so many options, it's tough to know which ones are actually worth your money. Well, in this video, I'm going to highlight some of our favorite cameras that we've actually used, so you can choose the one that fits your needs and budget.
You gotta just press record.
Let's say you want to record videos at your desk. Maybe you are teaching, streaming, or just starting out on YouTube. I'd honestly recommend investing in a good webcam. The webcam that I've been liking recently is the Hollyland Lyra. I'm actually using it to record this portion of the video. It shoots 4K up to 30 frames per second and plugs straight into your computer with a simple USB-C cable. And that's basically it. You could open up QuickTime, OBS, or the Holly Studio app, select the Hollyland Lyra as your camera, and you're good to go. I've been really impressed with the image quality out of this tiny webcam, and it's a big jump up compared to something like my MacBook's built-in webcam. Also, the autofocus is really reliable. As I get closer and away from the camera, it keeps me in focus, and if you decide to hold something in front of the frame, it'll rack focus to that, and then back out to my face, which makes filming content a lot easier. And what I like about the Holly Studio app is it's just extremely simple to use, but it still gives you that extra layer of control if you want to adjust things like shutter speed, your ISO or white balance, turning down the sharpness to get a more naturalistic look. So you still have that extra layer of control. You can even record from this app, which I am doing for this video. They also have this smart tracking mode that will follow your face and recompose the shot if you are moving around. You definitely don't have to use that, but it is there if you want that feature. But in my opinion, what makes this webcam so great is its audio quality. There's actually a pretty decent built-in microphone on this camera, but it also has a built-in wireless receiver. And so if you pay $10 extra to get the little wireless transmitter, you can easily clip that onto your shirt and get some really nice audio, even if you are getting a little bit further away from your webcam. And also this has built-in noise cancellation. So I actually have that turned on, and that just helps minimize some of the distractions in the background and makes my overall audio quality that much better. And that's what's so cool about this webcam is it's pretty easy to get set up. You just plug in your camera, turn on your wireless microphone, and you're good to go. And you have both great video and audio quality, which is perfect if you're just trying to get started and don't want to deal with a bunch of cables and adapters. This is really a super simple setup. If you want to learn more about any of these cameras, we've actually done full reviews of each. I'll link those along with all the gear mentioned in the description of this video. But what if you're not filming at your desk? Maybe you're outside, moving around a lot. Well, that's where an action camera makes more sense. And one of the best action cameras you can pick up right now is the DJI Osmo Action 6. The biggest reason why I like this camera is how simple and easy it is to use. You simply turn it on, hit record, and you are filming. And that's why I often recommend action cameras for beginners, because they remove so much complexity. One of my favorite features of the Action 6 is a feature called Horizon Steady. So if I were to tilt the camera, as you notice, the horizon stays nice and level. So even if I'm not paying too much attention to the camera, I'm still getting great looking images. Another reason why I like action cameras and with the Action 6 is the stabilization is really smooth. So even as I'm walking and talking with the camera, things still stay really smooth, which is great if you do a lot of vlogging, outdoor content. It's great to have a little action camera like this in your bag. And another underrated feature of the Osmo Action 6, and it's probably one of my favorites, is the built-in storage of 50 gigabytes. So if you've ever been out filming and maybe you forget your SD card, which has happened to me more than once, well, it's so nice to be able to switch to that internal storage option, and you can still record your video, which is just great to have. I think all cameras should have built-in storage at this point. It's just so nice. Now, the audio quality on the Action 6 is surprisingly solid. The internal microphone sounds great if you are just talking straight to it, but you can also connect two wireless microphones directly to the Action 6, which I'm doing right now. I have the DJI Mic 3 connected straight to the camera, so I can get as far as I want from the camera, and I'm going to still have great sounding audio, which is just huge. And the image quality looks sharp and clean, and that newer square sensor lets you shoot once and then reframe later for YouTube, Shorts, or TikTok without losing image quality. They've also added new film tones, which gives you a more polished look straight out of camera, so even if you don't know how to color grade, you don't have to. And it also saves a ton of time in editing. Now, there are a couple things to be aware of. Like most action cameras, the Action 6 has a fixed focus design, meaning everything is going to be pretty much in focus if you wanted that sharp, crisp look. However, if you kind of get too close to the camera, you'll notice that it doesn't quite look as sharp. So you don't have that same level of control where you could focus on close objects, which is kind of a bummer. And while low light is definitely improved on the Osmo Action 6, I still wouldn't recommend it if you primarily shoot in lower light situations because it can look pretty grainy. Price for the Osmo Action 6 is $389 and a little bit more if you want to get the Adventure Combo, which has extra batteries as well as a selfie stick. And if you are on a budget, the Osmo Action 5 Pro is still really solid, and you can save a little bit of money if you don't need all those latest and greatest upgrades that the 6 has. Now, if you're the kind of creator that likes to walk and talk as you are filming, or just want to show off your environment, or get some really smooth footage in general, then you should definitely check out the Osmo Pocket 3. This camera has become insanely popular for many reasons, but one is its built-in gimbal design. You get some of the smoothest handheld footage possible without needing to carry an extra gimbal. And the crazy thing is just how small this camera is. You can literally fit it in your pocket, hence its name. Now, a few reasons why I personally like this camera is one, its field of view. This has a 20mm equivalent field of view, which is still wide to show off your environment, but not too wide where things look a little bit distorted. Image quality is really impressive for a camera this small. Footage is sharp, the colors look amazing. And this camera has a relatively large 1-inch sensor, and that's going to help in low light, as well as give you a little bit of a blurry background to your videos, so it kind of separates you from the background, which is something that you won't see on most action cameras. Audio quality is another big win. The internal microphones on the Pocket 3 is some of the best I've ever heard, and you can really just get away if you just want to use that. But again, you also have the ability to connect wireless microphones to this camera, so if you want to get a little bit further, you get perfectly synced audio straight into your camera, so having good audio paired with great video is definitely a plus for creators. Battery life is pretty decent on the Osmo Pocket 3 as well. You can get around 2 hours of recording in 4K. Then you can just quickly recharge it with USB-C if you need to. But if you grab the Creator Combo, it actually comes with this extension battery grip, which is super helpful, and it gives you an extra hour of recording time. And if you decide to get the Creator Combo, you also get a DJI mic transmitter, the wide angle adapter, and this little tripod stand. Basically everything you'd want in a full travel kit. There's a lot to like about the Osmo Pocket 3. One downside I will mention is because of its gimbal design and nature, it can be a little bit delicate, so maybe you'd want to get the Osmo Action 6 if you want something a little bit more durable. But as long as you put the Pocket 3 away in its case and protect it, it's going to be just fine. Price point for the Osmo Pocket 3 is $520 for the camera and $670 for the Creator Combo. But at the time of recording this video, you can actually get this camera for $440, which is an absolute steal. And yes, I will probably recommend the Osmo Pocket 4 when it comes out, but even still, the Osmo Pocket 3 is such a great camera and still going to be relevant for years to come. But no matter how good your camera is, there are always moments in your video where you just don't have the time or the ability to capture every shot you want. And when I need some extra footage for my video, that's where I turn to today's sponsor, Storyblocks. Storyblocks gives me unlimited access to high quality stock footage, motion graphics, music, and sound effects, all under one simple subscription. And that is such a huge time saver. Let's say I need a drone shot, I can just go to Storyblocks, download one, bring it into my editing software, and I'm good to go. We use Storyblocks all the time for things like additional B-roll, animated backgrounds, and some really cool overlays that add texture to our video. Using a resource like Storyblocks allows us to focus on telling our story clearly and making better videos without having to overthink and reshoot our video. And as a filmmaker myself, I really appreciate that Storyblocks supports real artists and filmmakers. When you're using Storyblocks, you in turn are supporting these creatives at their craft. So if you want to save time and tell better stories, go to storyblocks.com/thinkmedia or click the link in the description down below. And if you really want to take your videos to the next level, then you want to look at a mirrorless camera. And there are a few benefits of a mirrorless camera. Number one, you have a physically larger sensor, which is going to allow more light into the camera and it's going to give you a blurrier background. So if you really want your videos to pop and look professional, a mirrorless camera with a large sensor is what you're going to want. And you also have the ability to swap out lenses. So if you want something ultra wide, you can just buy a new lens, put it on there, and you can kind of get different looks out of your camera just by swapping the lens. And one of the best budget mirrorless cameras you can get right now is the Canon R50V. And I'm actually shooting with the Canon R50V right now with the Sigma 16mm f1.4, and just look how blurry that background is. It does definitely help separate you from the background and just makes it look a little bit more professional. It shoots 4K that's oversampled from a 6K sensor, so the footage looks extra sharp and detailed. Colors straight out of the R50V look really good. You can keep it simple by using the standard color picture profiles, Or if you want to grow into color grading, this camera shoots 10-bit Canon Log 3, which gives you a lot more dynamic range to work with. Design-wise, it's super lightweight and compact, and it's clearly built with creators in mind. You have a fully articulating touchscreen. You also have great autofocus performance. You even have 2 record buttons, one on top and one on front of the camera. They even included a tripod mount on the side of the camera, so if you do a lot of vertical content, it's very easy just to put this on your tripod and you're good to go. Now, because this is a more budget-friendly mirrorless camera, there are some downsides and things you trade off for that cheaper cost. Like, this camera does not have in-body image stabilization, so if you do a lot of handheld content, I would definitely recommend picking up a lens that has image stabilization. But if you mostly film inside a YouTube studio on a tripod doing talking head videos, this really isn't a big deal. And battery life is decent on this camera, but if you plan on recording for long periods of time, I definitely recommend picking up a few extra batteries or possibly picking up this power adapter they can easily plug into the wall and continuously power your camera. Also, the 4K 60 mode does have a significant crop, which kind of limits its flexibility. But again, this camera only costs $650 for the body only, and for a mirrorless camera, that's pretty hard to beat. But I honestly think that the Canon R50V is one of the best budget-friendly options, especially if you are getting started. Okay, so maybe now reached a point where YouTube starts becoming more than just a hobby. Maybe you're filming consistently, or maybe you just want to build out a real YouTube studio setup. This is where you need to truly invest in a professional video camera, something that's not going to overheat on you, not going to have certain recording limitations. The last thing you want is your camera to overheat or shut off mid-take. And that is where something like the Sony FX30 starts to make sense. This camera is part of Sony's cinema line, so the body design is more professional. Image quality on the FX30 is excellent. You get 10-bit color, strong dynamic range, tons of 4K options and codecs that give you plenty of flexibility, whether you're just uploading to YouTube or doing more professional production work. Autofocus is also extremely reliable. For talking head videos, you can just lock it in and not have to really worry about it. And as you can see in this video, I'm actually recording with the Sony FX30, and as you can see, it keeps me nice and focused, and I almost never have to worry about it. This camera also really works well for live streaming. You can just run it over a USB-C or use the full-size HDMI into a capture card. And if you want to take your audio more seriously, you can add the optional XLR style top handle and plug in professional microphones straight into the camera. Now, this camera also has an APS-C size sensor, so you want to pair it with the right lens depending on your use case. Something like the Sigma 16mm is a great match for YouTube setups like this. There are a bunch of great APS-C lenses that are affordable for this camera, which is awesome. Some features that you don't get on the R50V that you do get on the FX30 is things like stabilization. The FX30 has in-body image stabilization, which is perfect if you are handheld behind the camera or even if you're in front of the camera vlogging. And most importantly, it has a built-in cooling fan. If you're someone who's really taking YouTube seriously or is doing a lot of client work or longer formats of videos like podcasts or interviews, then you definitely want to consider this camera. Price point for the Sony FX30 is around $2,200 or around $1,800 at the time of recording this video. Well, that is a pretty significant jump in terms of the cost. For what you're getting with this camera, the amount of professional features like 10-bit video, incredible stabilization, the ability to add XLR inputs, makes it a true workhorse of a camera, and in my opinion is worth the investment. Now, if you got money just burning a hole in your wallet and you want a serious hybrid full frame camera, there's actually 3 on this list that are all fantastic options. And those 3 cameras are the Canon R6 Mark III, the Sony a7 IV, and the Nikon ZR. I got to try the Canon R6 Mark III, and what I was really impressed by was just how versatile and well-rounded this camera is. It's great for both photo and video, has excellent autofocus. The footage looks absolutely incredible. If you love Canon colors, you will absolutely love the footage from this camera. Stabilization is also really impressive, and you have the ability to shoot 7K RAW in this camera, which is just bonkers. Price point for the Canon R6 Mark III is $2,800, and if you already have a bunch of Canon lenses and are in that ecosystem, then picking up the R6 Mark III is a no-brainer. And if you're in the Sony camp, the new Sony a7 IV is an amazing pick as well. The Sony a7 V has some of the best autofocus when it comes to video. You get improved stabilization, you get 4K video downscaled from 7K, which just gives you a really sharp and crisp image. Now, a couple downsides of the a7 V, it does not shoot internal RAW, so if you're looking for that, you can't get it in this camera. It's also the most expensive at $2,900. But if you're looking for a strong hybrid camera and want to stay in the Sony ecosystem, the a7 V is a great option. And the third full frame camera that I've been really impressed with is the Nikon ZR. This camera can record 6K in 3 different RAW formats, including Red RAW, which has been my favorite. The colors just look so accurate and true to life. You also get this huge 4-inch touchscreen, which is awesome if you're just trying to frame up your shot. It gives you a lot more confidence when shooting as well. The ZR uses the Nikon Z mount, so you'll have to use Nikon lenses, or you could pick up this Sony E mount adapter and use all your Sony lenses on this camera, which actually works surprisingly well. I think the ZR is probably the best option if you're looking for the best bang for the buck in this tier, since it only costs $2,200 for the body only. Out of these 3 cameras, you can't go wrong with either one. It basically comes down to your preference and which one you want to invest in lenses for the long term. If you want to dive deeper into any of these cameras, we actually done full reviews of each. We'll have those linked in the description down below. So to quickly recap, if you are filming at your desk and just want something simple, go with a webcam like the Hollyland Lyra. If you're outdoors, traveling, or moving around a lot and want something rugged, go with the Osmo Action 6. If you want smooth cinematic travel footage in a tiny package, then go with the Pocket 3. And when you're ready for an interchangeable lens camera without spending a ton, then start off with the Canon R50V. If YouTube is turning into something serious for you, like podcasts or long form content, then go with the Sony FX30. And if you're spending over $2,000 and want a full frame hybrid camera, you can't go wrong with either the Canon R6 Mark III, the Sony a7 IV, or the Nikon ZR. But let me know in the comments which camera you would pick up and why. And if you want to know the best cameras specifically for vlogging, then check out this video on screen right up here.